Happy Thursday evening, everyone. Welcome to Nightly Scroll. I am Hayley Caronia. Make sure that you come on over to Rumble. If you are watching on X or on Facebook right now, you're only going to get a little bit. So come on over for the full show. Rumble.com/Hayley will bring you to the Bongino Report channel. Make sure you're subscribed. If you can't catch us live at 6 p.m. Eastern time, that's okay. You can watch whenever you want on Rumble. You can also listen on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your shows. Just make sure that you are subscribing. You're sending the show to a friend. Let's spread the word. Okay. So sitting members of Congress are pushing fake news about ICE efforts. Also, MSNBC's Joe Scarborough thinks that if you're a Christian, you should be okay with illegal immigration because Jesus said so. How's that for an interpretation? Also, former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, has officially announced her retirement at 85 whopping years old. Bon voyage. Also, Disney is reportedly developing a Sleeping Beauty remake, and yes, they will be race swapping Princess Aurora. Can't wait for that one. Put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. The top, and that is that Border Patrol is making history. U.S. Customs and Border Protection had the lowest number of border encounters this month. In October, there were just 30,561 total encounters. That's across the entire country. And that is the lowest start to a fiscal year ever recorded by the organization. And the previous record low was in October of 2012 with 43,010 border encounters. So this is an 80% decrease since last October. And then it's the best number we've seen in over a decade. So catch and release is the thing of the past, and October is also the 6th straight month with no releases. This is incredible. It means that the border is so secure that the laws in place are actually being upheld, and it has sent a message to border jumpers and also Mexican drug cartels that this administration is not messing around. The southern border is no longer open for business because under President Trump, the United States is not going to be a breeding ground for human trafficking or drug smuggling. And because there are few migrants trying to jump the border now, CBP is now focused on deploying agents to Chicago and Los Angeles. You may remember back in June when the LA Dodgers got caught up in some fake news, a little bit of controversy with the Department of Homeland Security. The LA Dodgers put out a statement saying that ICE agents had come to Dodger Stadium. They wanted access to the parking lots, and the LA Dodgers denied the agents access to the grounds. And it was kind of insinuating that the Dodgers organization was protecting its spectators, protecting players, protecting whoever was in the vicinity of Dodger Stadium was going to be protected by the organization from ICE and maybe a potential deportation. And Homeland Security then had to come out and clarify that ICE was never there, which is, if you're going to come out and say that there are ICE agents here and they're demanding this and that, you better get your freaking facts straight before you blast this out on X. And now it's a whole story, right? So Homeland Security said ICE was never there. In reality, CBP officers were there. They parked in the parking lot briefly, and they weren't there to conduct any detentions, any arrests. They weren't on official business. They were parked there just for a little while. Well, fast forward to the LA Dodgers winning the World Series, because there is a large immigrant community in LA, and this alliance of organizations around Los Angeles, including the National Day Laborer Organizing Network, they held a news conference yesterday basically demanding that the LA Dodgers not go to the White House to be honored. Essentially saying that the LA Dodgers need to stand with Angelino immigrants and workers and, quote, uphold Jackie Robinson's legacy of justice and advocacy. So here is what Pablo Alvarado said. He is this NDLON's co-executive director. He said this, quote, "We congratulate the Dodgers on their incredible World Series victory, but," there's always a but even in this time of baseball triumph, we hope our home team remembers that LA is a place of overwhelming pain and mourning. Wow, way to sell them. We celebrate you even as we weep for our loved ones lost and families and communities devastated by this administration's mass deportation raids. And so we must ask you, please do not go to the White House. Don't betray the joy that we all felt together on the night that you won Game 7. Don't betray the city that stood with you all season long and has done for decades. So the immigrant community, and again, no one is against immigration. The Trump administration has no issue if you want to come here the right way and go through the proper channels and become a citizen. You are more than welcome. Doesn't matter where you come from, so long as you go through the vetting process and you respect the laws that we have on the books. Welcome. Welcome. There's no problem. So this group putting out this message saying, well, immigrants have stood with the LA Dodgers and therefore the LA Dodgers have to stand with immigrants. Illegal immigrants are being deported. Why, if illegal immigrants are standing with the LA Dodgers, why do the Dodgers have to stand with them? Plus, a winning team being honored at the White House should not be political. I always think it's so lame when a team doesn't go to try to stick it to Trump. Andy, was it the Eagles that didn't go after they won the Super Bowl? Did they make a big stink about it?
Yeah, but I think most teams haven't gone.
I mean some go.
Yeah, but definitely the Eagles. That was the big stink.
Right.
The Eagles, and then the Dodgers won last year.
Right, and they didn't go.
They didn't go, and so here they are again.
So right, we're back at square one. But Ohio State goes. Like some of these teams decide to go. It works for their brand, I guess. And then other teams, they just feel like, I don't know, they're betraying illegal alien fans. It's just odd. But it's lame that these front offices would bend to pressure from groups like this and rob their players of the honor of meeting the president and going to the White House. You don't even have to like Trump or his policies to know that that's an honor. I wouldn't care. Let's say I'm on the LA Dodgers. I wouldn't care who is in office. If President Biden wanted to honor me for something, you bet your ass I would be there. I didn't like President Biden, but he was still the president of the United States. And because I love my country, I respect that office. I don't know why we've gotten so far away from that notion, but I hope that the Dodgers do go to the White House because some of their fans might be illegal. Okay, what does that have to do with anything? It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they won the World Series. And they should be honored regardless without being guilt-tripped into putting the feelings of criminals above their own. But the same way that the Dodgers pushed fake news about ICE, so are sitting members of Congress. First up is Congressman Mike Quigley, a Democrat from Illinois. This is what he put on X. ICE isn't going after the worst of the worst. This morning, they took a preschool teacher without a warrant in front of children, in all caps, in my district. And he put hashtag ICE, hashtag Chicago. So if we could scroll down here and show people this video, you can see that there are cops that are right inside the vestibule area of this preschool, and they are taking this woman out. Again, if you don't fight cops, there's not going to be a scene like this. If you don't resist arrest, there's going to be no problem. No one's even going to be filming, really. But again, you can see her struggling with the police officers, and this is after she ran in there, running away from the cops. She was literally on the run. So now it looks like she's under control a little bit more, but again, all you have to do is just sit down and shut up. This is my golden rule. If you just sit down and shut up, you're going to get out of a lot of trouble. This goes for when you get your bags on an airplane, if you're in a traffic stop. Do not speak unless spoken to. Sit down and shut up. Get you out of a lot of trouble. Anyway, so this is what DHS responded because they needed to set the record straight. They said, Congressman, you are deliberately misrepresenting the facts. ICE law enforcement did not target a daycare and were only at this location because the female illegal alien fled inside. Here's the real story. Officers attempted to conduct a targeted traffic stop of this female illegal alien from Colombia. Officers attempted to pull over this vehicle, which was registered to an illegal female alien, with sirens and emergency lights, but the male driver refused to pull the vehicle over. Law enforcement pursued the vehicle before the assailant sped into a shopping plaza where he and the female passenger fled the vehicle. Then they ran into the daycare center and attempted to barricade themselves inside the daycare, recklessly endangering the children inside. The illegal alien female was arrested inside a vestibule, not inside the school, and upon arrest, she lied about her identity. Sounds like a real upstanding citizen to be around these children anyway. The vehicle is registered in her name, though she claims that she didn't know the man who was driving her car and had just picked him up from a bus stop. Facts, including criminality and information on the male assailant, are forthcoming. We'll update the public, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But despite DHS setting the record straight with the facts, the Democrats can't let a good ICE incident go to waste. So here is Representative Delia Ramirez seizing the day. Watch this.
Hey everyone, Congresswoman Delia Catalina Ramirez. I want to talk to you about what happened here in Chicago, just across from my district, at a daycare that I know really well. Let's be clear. ICE broke into that daycare and took a daycare teacher while children were in that daycare. They didn't just take her. They went back in and went into other rooms asking teachers for papers while children were inside. This is what's happening right now via that force of terror called Homeland Security under Kristi Noem. This agency of terror is terrorizing our children, our families, our communities, and it is our responsibility to do everything in our power to protect them. To the teachers that were terrorized, to the parents who were dropping off their children and watching this happen unfold. I am with you. I am sorry. I am angry, and I will do everything in my damn power to hold this vicious, cruel Department of Terror accountable.
She claims that ICE broke into the daycare center. Well, ICE entered the daycare center, or at least the vestibule of the daycare center, because an illegal alien fled on foot inside. So, therefore, that's why they had to do that. And then, of course, she's like, this whole sob story about, well, they took a daycare teacher. Okay, well, the daycare teacher was an illegal alien who fled on foot from a traffic stop. So again, if you're evading arrest, it doesn't matter if you're a teacher or a Maryland dad or whatever they try to like paint you as to put you, in a sympathetic light. It doesn't matter. You fled on foot from a traffic stop from cops, and then you were resisting arrest. And I agree. It was a shame that this had to happen in front of children. But why did it happen in front of children? Because the illegal alien fled on foot from a traffic stop. Then, of course, she calls DHS a force of terror. This is terrorism. This is the Department of Terror. All because they're trying to arrest and detain an illegal alien who fled on foot. By the way, this is a criminal who fled on foot into a daycare center. So thank goodness this force of terror was there to detain this woman. And you can always count on the fake news to push fake news. Democracy dies in darkness was the tagline for the Washington Post, but they continue to prove that they would rather shove the truth into the darkness and shed light on whatever narrative they're trying to push. So this is what the Washington Post put out on this story. They were talking about this same incident at this daycare center. If we could pull this up. We don't have it. Never mind. The Washington Post basically lied about this. And unfortunately, fortunately, DHS fact-checked them in real time, saying that they should be ashamed of themselves for posting fake news. Because, again, DHS had already debunked this on X, responding to Congressman Quigley saying, this is false. This is the real story. And then the Washington Post decides to just run whatever narrative they want to run. You don't hate the media enough. And again, this is going to be the new Kilmar Abrego Garcia, where he was just, he's just a dad. He's got a wife and kids. And meanwhile, he's beating said wife and he's trafficking humans across the country. So great. They will probably, Democrats will probably jump as soon as possible to go to wherever this illegal gets deported to. You can count on Democrats to waste tax dollars to go visit her and, turn her into their new pawn. Because we haven't heard the name Kilmar Abrego Garcia in a while. They need a new one. And, maybe this woman, if she stays in the States, she could run for office. It seems like that's a possibility for illegals. Democratic state representative, and I can't pronounce this, but her name is Hayley Vang Her. Anyway, she won on Tuesday night. She is the mayor of St. Paul, and she defeated the incumbent Democrat mayor, Melvin Carter. And basically, this woman was born in Laos, and she entered the United States as a refugee. And in a debate, she claimed that she and her family were illegal immigrants. She said this, quote, "I am illegal in this country. My parents are illegal here in this country. I tell you this story because I want you to think about who it is that you are calling illegal. My family was just smarter in how we illegally came here." And St. Paul voted this woman in. And so later after that debate, when she admitted that she was illegal and her whole family was illegal, then she walked those claims back and said, no, I didn't really mean that. I am an American citizen. My parents are also American citizens. But she just said that because she wanted to, get empathy from people. So she wanted people to think that she was illegal, probably to get illegal people to vote for her. I don't know. Or Democrats to vote for her, white liberal Democrats. I don't know. But then she also kind of went back on that and said that her father technically broke the law when he was filing out refugee paperwork for the family. So I don't know what her documentation status is. It seems to be unknown. I don't even think she knows what it is. But clearly she used this to win over Democrat voters, and it worked. And I hope that ICE maybe does some research into this mayor, because you just never know. It turns out that in Coldwater, Kansas, that mayor, Jose Ceballos, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, he's the mayor, and he was not supposed to be voting because of his documentation status, but he was. And he was reelected on Tuesday night. So here, this is another situation where this guy, apparently, he's a legal permanent citizen. However, he is not a United States citizen. He is a citizen of Mexico. Does that make sense to everyone? He's a legal citizen, but he's not a U.S. citizen. He's a legal permanent resident, not a citizen. How does someone like this become mayor? I don't know. I don't know how this is happening. But it turns out that Kansas, they require proof of citizenship to register to vote. And the Attorney General's office looked into this mayor because turns out that he's just a permanent resident, but he's not supposed to be voting. And it turned out that he was voting in federal elections. And now he faces 3 counts of voting without being qualified, 3 counts of election perjury, and the charges are non-person felonies, but he could face up to 5 years in prison. Basically, more details are coming out on this situation, but the city there in Kansas said that he will have to prove his citizenship in order to stay in office. So we'll see. Will he be able to prove citizenship, or will he just be able to prove that he's a legal citizen? And then it begs the question, how did he get in office in the first place? How do these people run for office? How do you throw your hat in the ring to be the mayor and run for political office and not be vetted? I don't know how that happens, but that needs to be fixed. So whoever is in charge of the elections, the Secretary of State, you better look into these things. You better look into who these people are, who they are running, the offices that they are running for. They're committing election fraud. Of course, the Democrats would say that none of this is happening. This is another one of those right-wing conspiracy theories, but they're committing election fraud. They're running for office, and they're also attacking ICE agents. According to Bill Melugin at Fox News Channel, DHS says that an ICE officer in Houston needed 13 stitches after a Salvadoran illegal alien and a convicted pedophile assaulted him with a metal coffee mug. This is while he was being arrested. So again, this goes back to my golden rule. If you just sit down and shut up, this wouldn't have happened. Just sit down and shut up. You're being arrested. Just comply. Make things easier. But of course, no, he had to fight. He had to fight back. He had to split this poor ICE agent's lip open with a metal coffee mug. And this guy, he's got prior convictions for sexual assault of a child fondling, multiple DUIs, and illegal reentry because he had entered the U.S. illegally. Then he had gotten away, and he has 2 prior deportations on his record, 2013, 2020. And anyone want to guess if he was deported in 2020 under which president he came back in under? Yeah. He's in ICE custody now, which is good. But Joe Scarborough on MSNBC seems to think that Christians should allow this kind of behavior because Jesus told us to welcome foreigners. Listen to this.
I have noticed over the past week or so, the Pope, the American Pope, speaking out repeatedly about the importance of Catholics, if they are good Catholics,
yes,
to go out and to welcome the foreigner. Citing the Good Samaritan verses in Luke. Jesus is explaining who your neighbor is. The Pope says we will be judged by how we welcome foreigners. And you have now the archbishops in Chicago and Washington, across the country, delivering powerful messages. The Pope even at one point suggesting it's hard to call yourself pro-life if you support such horrific treatment of those who are alive, our neighbors, as Jesus would say, our neighbors, the foreigner. That's what Jesus said. So if you have a problem with that, don't even take it up with the Pope. If you're claiming to be a Christian, take it up with Jesus.
Yes. Christians, as Christians, we should welcome foreigners. We should love our neighbors. But I will not accept wrongdoing. I will not accept and support criminality or illegal immigration. We're not supposed to break the law. That's just not what we're called to do. I don't understand this. If you don't support illegal immigration, you're a bad Christian or you're a bad Catholic. I guess I'm a bad Catholic. Anyway, taking a quick break to talk to you about Birch Gold. I'm a big fan of personal responsibility when it comes to your finances, taking care of your savings. It is up to you, not big government. And that is why I'm excited for my new sponsor, Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold has been a big partner of Silverlock for a long time, and they believe one of the best ways to hedge against inflation and global insecurity is by owning physical gold. And Birch Gold makes diversifying easy. They'll help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. And you can do it all with no additional money out of pocket. Plus, now through Veterans Day, for every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold Group, they will send you a free patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, Birch Gold can help you too. Text the word SCROLL to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver and qualifying purchase by Veterans Day. Again, text SCROLL to 989898. Do it today. Message and data rates apply. I also want to tell you about Genucel. Thanksgiving is just a couple weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. There is still enough time to get rid of your turkey neck and sagging neckline and get compliments all around the dinner table. If you haven't tried Genucel's breakthrough neckline lift with MDL technology, then pick up the phone or go to Genucel.com right now. Order today. Genucel will include their immediate effects for results you can see in just 12 hours. And for Thanksgiving, Genucel's offer gets better. You can get the top-selling Genucel Deep Firming Vitamin C Serum included in the Essentials package. You will give thanks this holiday for 10 years off of your appearance, and everyone will see the difference. Guaranteed or 100% of your money back. That is the Genucel promise. Go to Genucel.com/scroll, Genucel.com/scroll, and from now until Thanksgiving, you will get their brand new gua sha massager with red light therapy. I love red light therapy, and that will amplify your results. And shipping is also free. So go to jennycell.com/scroll, jennycell.com/scroll. All right, well, we have more insanity from the left as they try to spin another story about President Trump. Earlier today, a man passed out in the Oval Office. Watch this.
Creating high-value jobs. But today, we... Oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah.
Press out. Press. We're going. We're going to break away for just a moment as the White House addresses what appears to be a health emergency in the Oval Office. Our prayers go out to that man, and we will certainly.
So the man falls down. It was reported that he was just lightheaded. He got medical attention that was needed, and he was fine. And even President Trump said, you saw he went down. He's fine. They just sent him out. He's got doctor's care, but he's fine. Now, you'll also notice in that video that when this man passes out on the Oval Office floor, President Trump is gesturing over to him, making sure that he is okay, right? But here is what Harry Sisson posted on X. Of course, Harry Sisson did a lot of peddling for the Biden administration, trying to campaign for him. So, of course, he's very pro-Biden, very anti-Trump. All he does all day long is anti-Trump tweets. So this is what Harry Sisson said. Someone passed out in front of Donald Trump in the Oval Office, and this is how he reacted. A photo that perfectly encapsulates who he is. And in this photo, President Trump is facing the media in the room and seemingly ignoring this chaos that's happening behind him. But when you watch the whole video and you see the full context, you know that that's not true. This might just be a snapshot of what happened. Again, what is President Trump supposed to do? He's not a doctor. He sees that, 8 people are already surrounding this man. He's already getting the medical attention that he needs. He's going to address the people in the room. The show must go on. And, of course, Harry Sisson has to take this out of context. They use a screenshot. They do this all the time. They did it with J.D. Vance hugging Erica Kirk. It was a quick hug. 2 seconds, like a millisecond, totally platonic. Then they have a screenshot going around where her hand is on the back of his head, and all of a sudden now they're in a relationship, and now all of a sudden, the vice president is leaving his wife for Erica Kirk. This is what the left does. They take all these things out of context. Context doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. The narrative matters. Now, I was scrolling on TikTok, and I saw this video that I thought was really kind of heartwarming. And Michelle Obama was on the Today Show, and she was talking, I guess that's the name of the show now, with Jenna Bush Hager. I don't know if the names always change. I don't know what hour it is, whatever. It's Jenna Bush Hager on NBC, and she was interviewing Michelle Obama, and they were talking about the tradition of each presidential family, first family, welcoming in the next one, right? This peaceful transfer of power, but not only that, just this very nice moment between the Bush family and the Obama family, specifically because the Obamas had young girls going into the White House, and the Bushes also had that same situation. So listen to this.
It's been 17 years since I remember my mom called me and said, I want to show Mrs. Obama around and her girls around the White House. That picture there was almost 2 decades ago. I can't believe it.
And we were talking, I think the girls, you were the age that the girls are now.
Yes.
When you first met them.
Can you believe that?
And that, I always talk about that moment, how gracious it was for you, Barbara, your mom, to take real time out to help the girls feel like it was going to be a home. I mean, you knew how unsettling it could feel to move from your normal life into that house. And the fact that you guys took the time and showed them all the secret little fun things that little girls did, you really made them feel loved and seen. And, I've said this to you before, but I am forever grateful for you being that role model to them.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that sweet? This is the politics that I remember growing up with, where it didn't matter if you were left or right or center, but you could find common ground and you can have friendship and camaraderie and just this love of country that unites us all, right? And this reminded me, because when I saw this video, I thought, hey, I remember covering a story a few months ago. This was back in January or in March, but this was, as the transfer of power was happening between the Biden administration and the Trump 2 administration. And I remember covering that Kamala Harris would not invite the Vance family to the vice president's residence before, so that they could see where, their new digs. They were going to see where their rooms were. And Usha Vance, the second lady now, had reached out to the vice president's staff saying, hey, we'd love to schedule a tour, because this was customary. We'd love to schedule a tour, and I'd love to get in there and start like baby proofing, because the Vances have 3 kids under 8 years old. And Harris said no. Vice President Harris did not extend an invitation to the Vance family. And when I scrolled and I saw that video, and in that like very sweet moment between Jenna Bush and Michelle Obama, it made me think of just this stark contrast that has happened after Trump. It just seems like after Trump, the TDS has gotten so bad on the left that they can't even find the goodness of their hearts to reach out and do the right thing, to carry on a nice tradition, to invite the next family into the house. Why not, right? The only thing that I can think of is just TDS. It's TDS brain. It was Kamala Harris. I don't know what was going on with her. I'm sure she felt, very upset that she lost, and maybe she felt disgruntled, especially with how everything happened with her and Biden, and him being ousted and her being thrusted into his position and all that. But that's no excuse to not invite the Vance family, especially when they have young kids, and this is a big change for them. So it's just sad. But Nancy Pelosi has announced her retirement today. She posted this video on X. Watch a little snippet of it. Right? Nice little video from Nancy Pelosi there. She is going to be retiring at the whopping age of 86 years old. I am assuming, because she's 85 now and she's got 1 more year left. Could you imagine announcing your retirement at 86 freaking years old?
What do you do? Try not to die?
She might not have much longer to enjoy retirement. This is not something to emulate. I think, and even remember Nikki Haley was running on the fact when she was running for president, she said that we have to increase Social Security. We have to increase the age of retirement to 70 because people are outliving their Social Security packages and all these things. And, everyone in Congress, like they just keep working and working and working. And something tells me it's not because they're just addicted to serving the public. I think they're addicted to something else. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. But first, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's on this like media whip for whatever reason. I don't know why she's all over. She was on The View. Then she was on CNN earlier today, and they asked her about Pelosi retiring, and she was very, very nice. Watch this.
I will praise Nancy Pelosi. She had an incredible career for her party. I served under her speakership in my first term of Congress, and I'm very impressed at her ability to get things done. I wish we could get things done for our party like Nancy Pelosi was able to deliver for her party. So I wish her well in her retirement, but I would like to see people exit Washington a lot sooner rather than wait until their 80s.
Yeah, we are.
Agreed. I think it's nice that, she had nice things to say about Nancy Pelosi. I appreciate her being gracious because, just because the left wants to murder all of us doesn't mean that we have to stoop to that level. I think, certainly she did serve the country. Not that we agree with everything that she did or anything that she did, but okay, she did her time. We could say that she did her time. And I do agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene that people should be leaving office way before they're 80. I think you should be leaving, I think that we need to have term limits. I think every office needs to have term limits, whether it's 4 years, 8 years, whatever, but we can't be going beyond that. These people get into office and it's a dynasty for them. I mean, it is just this addiction to power. And Senator Josh Hawley he pointed out what everyone, at least on our side of the aisle, was thinking. Here's how he responded to Pelosi's retirement.
Hopefully it'll be the Pelosi Act. She'll be the opportunity to finally ban stock trading by members of Congress. Nobody made more, I think, than her. I could be wrong. A lot of people made a lot of money. But
that's what you'll remember her for?
Well, that's if we can get the law passed. I think that would be a great achievement for the American people. There's nothing more outrageous, Mono, than the fact that members of Congress trade millions of dollars worth of stock every year, make huge sums of money with information the public doesn't get. And we ought to pass the Pelosi Act right now.
She says.
Totally agree. Pass the Pelosi Act. And I thought it was so funny that whoever was asking this question to Senator Hawley says, that's her stock trading? That's what you remember her for? Yeah, that's her claim to fame. That's how she got so rich and powerful. Yes, she is. All these memes, by the way, too, like anything happens, there's a meme about Nancy Pelosi, sell this, buy this. She is known for that. She is known for hedging her bets using essentially knowledge that she's gotten from being in office, and that should be illegal. And Senator Hawley said that this should be illegal, and we should remember Pelosi for this, and we should use this moment to sign the Pelosi Act, and I totally agree with it. I will also say I remember Nancy Pelosi not only for her stock trading and not only for the memes about her stock trading, but her husband. What about what?
To tear the speech. That was
tearing the State of the Union
That was a
speech.
big thing behind Trump.
Yes, she's good for a photo op. She was also kneeling with some African garb or whatever in the state capitol. Whatever she's got to do, she's going to do it for sure. So these are some good Nancy Pelosi moments. But certainly the moment that I remember most and I am fond of is her husband maybe potentially having their house broken in by maybe a gay lover. I don't know. They were in their underwear, but they also had like a hammer and they also had a vodka soda or something. The whole situation was, I don't know, it was a little iffy. I don't really know what was going on there, but yep. And here's Nancy Pelosi in her African garb because, she's got to tell people that she's not just not racist. She is anti-racist. That was the whole thing in 2020. I'm not racist, and I am actively anti-racist. And if you wear African garb and appropriate their culture, that's how you show them how serious you are about that. So goodbye, Nancy Pelosi. Bon voyage. Enjoy your retirement. Enjoy all that money that you made in office. All right, we have an update from Gold's Gym in Los Angeles where they have been letting a trans woman, so a man, enter the women's locker room, and TMZ was kind enough to interview this fellow. Here's what he had to say.
That's 2 rooms right there. You're not going to put a trans woman with a trans man just because we're trans. That seems like a whole new envelope of discrimination. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like this had to happen in order for people to learn about trans. It's like it's a thing. We're here. We're going anywhere. We've been here for thousands of years. There's like 10 species of animals on Earth that do this too. Just by the way, everybody. And but about the bathroom, am I entitled to it? I know that I'm a woman. Should they have built another one to necessitate building this room? People would have to have the level of comfortability within themselves that I do. Not everyone possesses this much self-feminine power. It doesn't happen. Not in this patriarchal system of which we've been living for so long.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Alexis, we appreciate you joining us. This is clearly going to be something that Gold is going to have to
a lot of gyms.
And a lot of gyms, yes.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been kicked out of Planet Fitness and Crunch.
Okay.
Not very feminine the way he signed off there. Yeah, is that the face of self-feminine power? I'll throw that out to the chat. You can let me know if that man in red lipstick is the face of self-feminine power. And I will say, as a woman who goes to the gym frequently, I have never worn red lipstick to the gym. I haven't. Not once, not ever. And I never will. I'm never going to wear lipstick to the gym. I don't wear makeup to the gym. Women don't do that. And women don't need makeup to prove their femininity because we're just women. So if you need red lipstick to show everyone that you are a woman, you're not a woman. Sorry to say. But this person, of course, very mentally ill. It's sad. And honestly, he just looks gay to me. Like, he just looks like a gay dude in lipstick. So again, it's always difficult with this trans stuff because we all know that they're in a transition. We don't know how far along they are, but we know that they haven't gotten to the destination. They never will. It's a forever transition, right? And then he says in this video, you know, we can't put trans women with men. Why not? Why not? You can't put trans men with men. That's how we've done it since the dawn of time. And women should feel comfortable knowing that they can undress in a locker room with other women. And men should also feel comfortable that they are not in a locker room with a woman pretending to be a man as well. But certainly, while this goes both ways, women are the ones that feel most uncomfortable in this situation. Men, biological men, are bigger, stronger. They can attack you. They're more violent. So again, while it is important to make sure that everyone is safe, he brings up the bathroom debate and the locker room debate, and maybe they should build another one. I think that, unfortunately, we've gotten to a place where I think the solution, and the locker rooms are different, but bathrooms, you have to have a full stall, like floor to ceiling lock, like a floor to ceiling door, no gaps, no nothing. There need to be fully enclosed places for people to change. And you shouldn't need to do that in a locker room, but I think that that's the best case scenario right now. If you think that you go to one of these gyms, especially in a state that has these laws that protects trans people over everyone else, you might be better off going into the locker room or a bathroom stall and changing just in case. But it is sad that we need to even have this conversation. Then he points out in the video that this incident needed to happen so that people can learn about trans people. We freaking know about trans people. You guys have a whole freaking month. You won't shut up about being trans. We know about the trans stuff. So we've heard enough. We've seen enough. Let's talk about Sydney Sweeney. So as we know, Sydney Sweeney, she made waves and she got all people very upset on the left about her American Eagle ad where she said that she has great genes, which she does. She's gorgeous. She is the beauty standard, right? She's gorgeous. She's got an amazing body and she does have great genes. Play on words. She's got the genetics and she's got great genes to put on her great body, okay? And of course the left hates her because she's blonde, she's white, she's got blue eyes, and she's pretty. And they spun this whole thing into a controversy about how her having great genes means that this is some Nazi propaganda and this is whatever, fascist programming, and they want everyone to, think that blonde hair and blue eyes is the beauty standard, blah, 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 whatever. Now, Sydney Sweeney sat down with GQ's Catherine Stoffel, who just wanted to get her. And thankfully, Sydney Sweeney was not going to put up with it. She wasn't going to give her an inch. Listen to this.
I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, and conveniently, some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way. The president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that it's not that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that. Or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away.
Keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, you know, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
No.
The criticism of the content,
It's awesome.
which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Yeah, she was not giving this girl anything. And this Catherine girl is baiting her by, you know, if I had powerful people coming out in support of me, I would feel this way. Okay. And Sydney's like, yeah, I didn't really see it that way. Yeah, I was pretty busy filming Euphoria and I didn't really have my phone on me and I wasn't really paying attention. That wasn't the answer that this Catherine wanted. So then she goes again and says, well, the president tweeted about the ad. How did you feel about that? Sydney says, well, it was surreal. Not positive, not negative, just it was surreal. Not giving her what she wanted. This GQ journalist wanted her to bash Trump so bad. She wanted to give her a platform like, I'm putting this out on a silver platter for you. Denounce white supremacy. Denounce President Trump. Denounce the ad that you did, which was super successful, by the way. And she just would not give into it. So good on her. I absolutely love it. And then, you know, people might get ideas about you thinking a certain way, you know, insinuating that people might think that you're a Trump supporting Republican. And Sydney Sweeney said, yeah, like, I don't really care. I don't really care. So I love her. This was absolutely amazing. I don't even know if this is a media trained woman or she just didn't give a shit. She was like, I'm not giving this girl anything. I know what you're planning and I'm not falling for it. Absolutely love it. All right. According to this, well, I think this is like a CNBC guy. He has a Substack and he reports on a lot of Hollywood news. He is reporting that Disney is reportedly developing a new film called Aurora. And it would be a reimagining, they love this word, reimagining of Sleeping Beauty, but it is going to be set in Mexico. Why? 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 Why do we have to reimagine Sleeping Beauty? It already exists. And if it already exists, then just, if you need to do a remake because you can't use your brain and write anything, I don't know, it just seems like Disney and all these other, movie houses and production companies, they can't think of anything anymore. So they just have to reboot. They've got to do a sequel, a remix, a prequel, whatever. It's the 10-year anniversary of this movie. They come out with another one. It's the 20-year anniversary. They come out with another one, right? And I'm so over it. All you have to do, if you want a Mexican Disney princess, go write it. Go write it. Go put it into ChatGPT, like they probably do. If you can't get anyone to write it, get ChatGPT to do it. You want a Mexican princess? Write one. Make it. Make it happen. Do it. But why are we turning Sleeping Beauty into a Mexican girl? I don't get it. Why are we rewriting history? There's no reason to do that. Sleeping Beauty is perfect and classic as it is. Just leave her alone. Leave Aurora alone. And on that note, let's get into scrolling time. It is close to home for us here, but these are two cops in St. Lucie County, Florida, and this is a sight to be seen. They had broken in to a crack den, a trap house. There was a lot of fentanyl going on in this house, and the cops broke in, and they've got the guys arrested out front, and then they put a little sign in the yard, and the cops made a video for social media, and the guy behind them just won't shut up. Again, my golden rule, just shut up. Sit down and shut up.
They ain't doing shit. They St. Lucie County Sheriff Chief Pearson, we just concluded a 4-month investigation targeting those peddling fentanyl in our community. Commander Pettit, what do we have?
Today, with the help of the SWAT team, the agency investigation wrapped up with the arrest of these individuals for trafficking in fentanyl, trafficking in cocaine, trafficking in methamphetamine laced marijuana.
So right now, our main goal of the Sheriff's Office is to take these narcotics off of our street, and our message to criminals is this:
not to St. Lucie.
There you have it.
I can't even hear what the poor cops are saying because the guy in the back is just yapping. F12, F pigs, F St. Lucie County, F everyone. You're just sorry you got caught. And again, you're already arrested. Sit down and shut up. That's all you got to do. All right, this next video, this guy is talking about how crazy it is that New York City is going to be a little experiment that we all get to watch.
Let's hear it for New York, bread lines, communal housing. Bang, bang. New York City, you crazy bastards, you did it. You're about to conduct the greatest experiment, social experiment that's ever been conducted on a U.S. major city. You're about to communism and potentially Sharia law speed run. I'm really excited for you guys. You guys made some decisions that, I wouldn't have made because I don't like crime. I don't like when people get stabbed or robbed and then the judges let them out. But this is going to be fun for you guys. Like, everybody's going to be skinny because, like, the government food programs aren't going to work. And also, like, you're not going to have to do Pilates anymore because you're literally going to be doing hand-to-hand combat on the subway to avoid sexual assault. So it's going to be sick. It's a double-edged sword, but, like, take some, you give some. Good job, guys.
It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. I feel bad for my friends and family who still live in New York City. I hope that they move out soon and they get well soon because I don't know who these people, these white liberal women, I don't know why they're voting for this, but they did. And this is going to be the future of New York City. I don't think it's going to go, as far as Sharia law, but certainly all these, other socialist programs, this will be a trial run. It'll be interesting to see. And, Florida's open. Tennessee's open. We're open. All right, this next one, this is concerning because, we talk about this trans stuff all the time and how men feel comfortable going into women's spaces. And this woman is dealing with, and I don't know if this is a trans person or not, but this is a man booking a wax appointment under a female name. Watch this.
I'm an esthetician. Tell me why I just had a man book under a woman's name. I do not accept male clients. So I have this man book as Teresa, and so I go out to the lobby to get her. It's a him. And he's like, yeah, my name's Teresa. And I'm like, no, it isn't. So it was for a wax. So I tell him, I'm sorry, I don't take male clients, and I have a really good reason for doing that. And so I don't really care, if it's discriminating or whatever. There are plenty of other places in town that will. I don't. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't take male clients, but like, here's another place that you can go to and they accept walk-ins, so you can literally go there right now. And he like throws a whole scene, like he's pissed. And I'm like, you're the one booking under a female name because my booking site clearly states I don't accept male clients.
Yeah, so a man goes into a wax studio, a wax spa, trying to get a wax. Obviously wants to drop his pants in front of a girl, and this is a sicko. Maybe this is just a sicko booking as Teresa and then hoping that they won't cancel on him. Maybe it's a trans person. I don't know. Maybe it's just a person trying to pretend to be trans. But this is why Republicans take such an issue with these bathroom and locker room policies, because it's not anti-trans necessarily. I'm not saying that I'm super afraid of all trans people, but I'm more afraid of who is going to abuse these policies. If you say that men are allowed in the women's locker room and all you have to do is say that your name is Teresa and you have free reign to go wherever you want around women in these sensitive areas, that's wrong. And it is pro-woman to be against these policies. That's it. All right, this next influencer, she took to TikTok to apologize. I think someone did some digging on her and found a video of her, and here's her hostage video. She's saying sorry. Watch.
I want to take a moment to address an old video of me that is going around. The video is from when I was 12 or 13, playing around with makeup, putting bronzer and contour on my face because at the time I thought it was silly. Unfortunately, back then I had no understanding of how that could be seen or the history and the weight behind things like blackface. I didn't know what that meant or that people even did things like that. Looking back now, I completely understand how wrong and hurtful that could look, and I am truly sorry to anyone that was offended or hurt by it. That was truly, truly not my intention at all. I was a kid, and I know that's not an excuse, but I truly was not educated enough at the time, and I have learned a lot since then, and I do not and will not ever condone any racism or discrimination of any sorts. Take full accountability for not knowing any better, and I am truly, truly sorry.
She's taking full accountability for not knowing any better at 12 years old. Could you imagine literally being in your 20s and setting up your camera and being like, I'm so sorry that I put makeup on when I was 12 years old. I'm so sorry that I played around with bronzer. I didn't even know that blackface existed. Okay, so then why are you apologizing? What do you have to apologize for? You didn't do anything wrong. You were young. You had no idea. This is why and they always say the same shit. Like it's the same script where it's, I'm an influencer, and I got in trouble. There's this video going around about me. I did something in my past. Someone found my racist tweet or my insensitive tweet, or I said retard, 12 years ago on Twitter, whatever, right? Like something comes up from their past, and then they have to look straight to camera, and they have the sob story, and it's the same sob story. I'm so sorry. I didn't know any better. I've done research. I'm going to do better next time. And why are you even giving the cancel culture mob an inch? Don't give them an inch. I say this all the time. I compare the cancel culture mob to that childhood buck. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a napkin, and then he's going to want a glass of milk, and then he's going to want a straw, and then he's going to want to take a nap, and then he's going to want, saying sorry isn't even enough for them because these people have decided that you're a horrible person. You can't convince them. So why apologize? Don't apologize. All right, we're ending the show on honestly one of the funniest videos that I've seen in a long time. And I will put out this disclaimer that this little boy is okay, but he does get hurt in the video. But it's at a pumpkin roll, so watch this. Pumpkin rolls down the road and goes straight into a little boy. Just straight into the little boy. If we can play that video again, I just want people to pay attention. His dad lets go of his hand and basically allows the pumpkin to crash into him. And he gets knocked out. And I will say, I feel for this kid because he probably got the wind knocked out of him. It was like the pumpkin came, swept him off his feet, and he landed straight, he did like a belly flop onto the grass, right? But the dad the dad is holding his hand. The dad walks away from the pumpkin and literally lets the pumpkin take his son out. So people in the comments section were just saying the funniest things. I mean, this has upwards of 20 million views. But someone in the chat, if we could pull the chat up or the comments up, someone said 6 more weeks of winter. Which is so messed up, but it's funny. But then people were calling out the dad. Dad had zero protective instincts, none. The guy that rolled the pumpkin. Oops. Here's a screenshot of the dad. The dad is like sucking his gut in too to get away from the pumpkin. He's totally back up against the wall getting away from the pumpkin. His kid is a prime target. Oh my gosh. Slim Jim commented, Mom had a talk with Dad that night. I just know they left immediately after. POV the guy that rolled the pumpkin. Uh-oh. That's just so funny. Always a kid in the way. Anyway, the internet is undefeated because someone then posted this video to the tune of Wii Bowling. Watch this.
Nice throw.
Nice throw. And someone in the chat said, survival instincts of a toddler. It's a skill issue. Everyone else got out of the way, blaming the toddler. I blame the dad. I'm not going to blame the toddler, but I certainly blame the dad because he let this happen. It's all on him. The dad just stepped aside and watched. And then, of course, someone commented, survival instincts of a fart, which is, Andy finds that very funny. But thank you for scrolling along with me. I appreciate it. All of you, every single one of you. Send this link to a friend. If you like the show, send it to someone, tell a friend, send them the link, tell them to go to rumble.com/Hayley, subscribe to the Bongino Report channel, watch on Rumble, rumble.com/Hayley, or listen on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And of course, you can follow me at Hayley Caronia, HayleyCaronia on X, Truth Social, TikTok, and Instagram. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye.